it's that time again. We're picking my bullet journal theme for April. If you're new here, I'm Natasha of Natasha Miller Creates, and this is how I've decided to pick my bullet journal themes for 2025. I have a bunch of mini brand surprise eggs in this bag, and I'm randomly selecting them and then basing my theme off of what I select. So I'm going to mix these up, and we are going to select our theme for April. So for April, we have a mini fashion egg. So let's open it up and see what we're working with. Okay, I'm actually super excited for this theme because I do have a pattern that I want to design based on handbags. So let's take a look and see what we got. Okay, so we got a sticker of a handbag, sure. We got a little sparkly bracelet. Oh my goodness, it's a Tiffany's box, you guys. I got a Tiffany's ring. Yep, the Tiffany's bracelet, I guess. That's too funny. Oh my goodness, okay, that's cute. And then a little perfume. No, move your butt. Nobody wants to see your butt. And then a little perfume. Oh my. And then we got a handbag shoe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's see what I can come up with. We are going to be dealing with today's video a little bit differently. I filmed my entire setup. I was almost completely done the voiceover. My editing software is falling right in line with how the rest of my April is going. So we're just gonna do it this way because I'm on the verge of what I feel like is a nervous breakdown. So it is what it is. So I did not like my April theme. There's so much about it that makes me unhappy. It's not my best work. Don't like the lettering. Well, my cover page is fine. I don't like the lettering. I really hate this. And then, but I do love this. So what I really loved about my March setup was having this little sassy call out. And I wanted to kind of keep that going, especially given the girly nature of the surprise egg that I opened. For example, the Tiffany box, the shoe, I don't know. You just saw me open it. So I did want to do something that was a little less feminine. I have done a handbag luxury florals design before, and I really love what I did. I love the color palette that I used. So it was really hard for me to try and not recreate it, but I've just been finding myself in a creative block. So it is what it is. Initially, I had found in a Facebook coloring group a technique where they would use different shades of the same tone and then a white gel pen, and they would create like a glitter effect. My lips did not look like it was glitter. It just looked weird. I asked people's advice. They said no. Then when I started editing my video, it didn't look that bad, but because I second guessed myself, I ended up redoing all of it, which is another reason why this setup took so long. And yes, I leave this open so that I can not have too many bumps in my notebook. So for my lettering, I did a basic serif font. I worked on a project late March where I really reflected on my lettering and where I started, where I've been, where I'm going. And I realized that I have really defaulted to boring lettering. And so for May and June, I really want to bring back the fun lettering and experimentation in my lettering style. So that's definitely something I'm going to be focusing on. I just did some basic rough doodles. They're not my favorite. I don't like them. The chain is supposed to represent the chain from a handbag, but it looks super wonky. But the way I created this was a blending effect with 2 acrylographs. Let me know if you want to see a tutorial on how you can blend your acrylographs. I do want to do a quick disclaimer. I do work for Archer and Olive, and so there is a lot of product that I get to order, and it's to a point now where I can't really remember what I ordered versus what I paid for. So for example, this is from the Steffi Lynn collection. This I was given, and then my acrylographs, one set I paid for, the other set I was given. So I will be better about making sure I'm disclosing what was given and what was purchased. I do love Archer and Olive products, which is why I ended up working for them, or how I ended up working for them. And so yes, while I am affiliated with them, I do love the product, otherwise I would not work with them. But I also didn't want to be scummy, so I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that connection that I have with them. The other disclaimer I need to give is Tom Studio. I did my lettering with my Tom Studio Lumos Pro pen. I changed out the tips from the 1.0, which I like to do my outlines with, and then I switched to the brush lettering tip so that I could do my brush lettering. This is my Lumos Pro, and I'll put in a clip where you can see I'm changing out the tip and how I do it, and it's pretty quick and easy, and honestly it's pretty mess free. I actually did it right on my notebook and didn't spill, which is actually quite a miracle for me. Every month I do my tabs with an acrylograph, and then I just use a jelly roll to write on top of the colored in tabs for the acrylographs. This is my monthly overview page. By the time I got to this page, I'd given up on the glitter effect. As you can see, I need to go over it a little bit more, but that's where the glitter effect used to be, or at least where I started working on it. I used the lighter green for the monthly and a darker green for the overview, and I actually really like this ombre effect. It was another kick in the butt for me to be more experimental with my lettering like I used to be. On this page, I have my important dates, my art licensing, my goal focus, project action steps, and notes. So how this page works is I capture my important dates for the month. So for example, there was a release date for work, and then my son has a swimming competition, and then the art licensing, goal focus, and project action steps ties into my goal planning. I do my goal planning in Notion. I am on the fence about whether I like it or not. Everything's in a bit of flux now. I do drive a lot. My son swimming is in a different part of the city, so it takes a while to get there. So I've been relying a lot on digital, and I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling. While digital is very convenient, I do prefer hands-on pen and paper, and so I'm busy working on how I can still incorporate that into my day-to-day activities. Oh, and yeah, this is my habit tracker. So this is my due date calendar page. This is a work in progress. The first time I used this was last month. I'm not going to show you last month and how I used it because there is sensitive information on it. Yes, there is sensitive information on the previous layout that I did like this, so unfortunately I'm not going to share that with you. But basically, I want to be better about setting boundaries and not doing my contract work on Saturdays and Sundays, and just keeping Monday to Fridays for my work. So I have Monday to Friday, and then there are 5 weeks in April. The idea here is that I'm using my Kuretake dot pens to color code what is due when, and then also I can see, so this includes personal and professional due dates. This is the start of my weekly setups. Normally, I like to carry over some of the doodles and some of the illustrations onto the page. This time around, I just kept the lettering style and I kept the color palette. I cannot express to you how much I dislike this monthly setup. It's part of the reason why when my editing software started glitching out, I thought, screw it, I'm just gonna talk you through it. So on this side of the page, this is where I capture my appointments and any events that are coming up. So I have council meetings, we have swimming, all my meetings for work, my meetings for contract stuff, and then my to-do list is pretty straightforward. On the left-hand side of my personal to-dos, on the right-hand side of my professional to-dos. Fun fact, this actually works like an Alistair method in my head. If you don't know the Alistair method, I've linked a video up in the cards for you. You can go check that out. This is a very basic Alistair method, and don't come for me because yes, on paper it's simple, but in my head, that's how it works. And then a simple little notes box. What I've used this for in the past is just to put reminders for things that are coming up, just make them big and bold so that they stand out. So these weeklies are the same throughout the setup. It's what works for me. I don't see myself changing this anytime soon. I like the way it is. And then lastly, we get to my review page. So this is where I look back at the month and reflect on how it went. This page was definitely rushed because I was running out of time. As of publishing this video, it's pretty much the middle of April, so it is what it is. I record my biggest accomplishment, which if I were to fill that out right now in this moment, it would be that I didn't have a mental breakdown. But again, it's only the middle of April, so there's time. Then there are my other wins. One here would be I spent one morning crying right before a meeting, and then the meeting, it was a bit of a rough meeting for whatever reason, and I managed to not cry during the meeting, so that's going to be a win for sure. Then how I feel, I'm going to go with stressed, but you know, there's the rest of the month for that to change. So if I'm going to be negative, I can be positive as well. I don't feel great right now, but it could change since it's only the middle of April. And then the next one is basically how I'm celebrating. So what am I going to do to celebrate my wins? And then here I'm recording what my focus is going to be for next month. Honestly, I feel very confident filling this out right now. For one, I'm going to be better about focusing on myself and what I want and my hopes and dreams, as well as lettering. So super abstract and then very specific. And then on this page, my intention is to use this for memory keeping. I'll be honest with you, I have not used this page at all throughout this time. So maybe that's a video that I can sit down and maybe share how I do that. Let me know if that is something that you want to see. As always, thank you so much for your time and patience with me. Even though I ran into so many roadblocks with this setup, I did want to take the time to share it. I did want to take the time to also share that I do not like it. Not everything you're going to create is always going to come out how you want it to. So I think it was important for me to share this. Honestly, I would just prefer to bury this and not have it see the light of day, but that's not fair either. A lot of what we see is so curated or so fake. I mean, if you look at TikTok, how much of it is true? So especially that am I the a-hole stories, like it's getting to a point now where it's like, okay, is this made up or is this actually true? And so I didn't want to get caught in that curatedness. It's funny, I'm going on a tangent, but just hear me out. It's funny because Instagram used to be an issue and everything used to be so curated, and then TikTok came along and TikTok kind of pushed the narrative of be real. But it's now at a point, because TikTok is so monetized, I feel like it's now at a point where even what's supposed to be like quote unquote real is acted or manipulated or scripted, or you know, so it's funny, it's curated in a different way. Let's call it the Gen Z curation. That's what I'm going to be referring to it as. But I digress. Thank you so much for watching today. I have more thorough setup videos. As I've said, if you'd like to see how I incorporate memory keeping into my journal, let me know and I can set up that video. Outside of that, if you've seen anything in my setup through my paging that you're curious how I created it or how I set it up, please let me know down in the comments below. I actually think this was a more thorough way of explaining my thought process behind my setups. At the same time, I also like to share the creative process. So I'm not going to get rid of my usual format, but if you like this format, maybe that's something that I can consider going forward. Thank you so much for your time today, and I will see you in the next one. For more bullet journal content, make sure to check out one of these two videos below. I'll see you over there.